Let me play the recording.
So generally, design patterns in Java, which means what? What do you mean by patterns generally? Which means you'll be finding something. If you're doing this way, this is the output you can achieve. Like the better example is your mathematical formula. We are having so many formulas in mathematics: a plus b whole square, right? Area of a triangle, circle, so many formulas is there. What does it means? Why a plus b whole square exists? If you are asking me to calculate 2 plus 2, the whole square, I can easily do it, right? I don't need a formula. I can immediately calculate in my mind, or using a sheet, I can give you the answer immediately. Okay. Now, to reduce the complicated solutions, maybe if I'm asking you to complete 41 to 41 plus 41 whole square, right? That might be the little complicated item. Or if you're dealing with 3-digit x plus y, then we need a formula. Like this formula will help you to resolve it easy in a easier way. Now, even before the formula exists, first the numbers exist in mathematics world, right? First we have learnt the numbers only, 1 2 3 4 5 up to n number of digits. Based on that numbers only, this formula got created. Uh, I mean, which is the priority one, which is first exists in the world is numbers. Based on that numbers only, these formulas got created. Who developed these formulas? We really don't know who developed the numbers, who introduced the mathematical numbers actually, right? It's a might be a very ancient thing, okay, but definitely whatever the formulas available, we know that who introduced it, because even a theorem in physics or whatever the formula, a theory for all those things, might be whoever having the rights of the pattern, their name itself applicable for that pattern. Yes, if we are finding something unique, then you can apply for the pattern rights. Then the pattern is going to call us Rohan pattern or Vijay pattern or Aravind pattern, like that, right? So based on the numbers, how the formula got existed, like that, based on your very core stuffs, you already learnt class objects and methods, and the relationship between inheritance, how it is going to work. All those things you already learnt. The polymorphism, Hobbes concept, everything you have learnt. Now, here also, so many programming developers has introduced so much patterns. If you want to achieve something, okay, you need to create lot of classes, objects, and methods. You are going to create an object in a direct way. Instead of that, to achieve certain requirement, to achieve something, you can follow my pattern. If you are creating a class like this, if you are extending a class like this, if you are creating an object in this way, then this will work like this way. This is a kind of formula that is called pattern, design pattern. Like that, based on our core Java stuffs, lot of design patterns is available in your Java. Okay, so it is categorized into three types, and under each type, so many stuffs is there. Maybe 30 to 40 or 50 design patterns might be available currently. Okay, so with respect to the interview point, they are not going to expect you to explain all the 40 items or 50 items. No, design pattern is something like, it is not like you are practicing in a day or two, like how you are practicing with the oops concept, how you are practicing with class object methods. It's not like that. In a simpler way, you know that this is a formula. I mean, if I'm asking you to tell me the a plus b whole square formula, you will tell that, that's fine. But where exactly you used in real time, that matters. If you are able to explain that in a real time, then definitely you are worked in a real time. You are not a fake guy. You really worked in the IT industry. You implemented this design pattern in your coding. So that much understanding is needed. Maybe a 5 years or 8 years of Java career life. Out of the 40 or 50 design patterns, we might have traveled at least two or three in your real coding practices. So out of these items, you need to pick which is familiar for you, which is easier for you, or which is convenience for you, and talk about it. As I told you, the three categories, try to manage at least I know one or two in each category. That is fine. Okay, so in interview, when you are putting the recent project, I have worked in the project, they might have asked what all are the your roles and responsibilities, or what all are the coding steps you have involved. Have you involved in any design pattern implementation? At the time, be prepared to talk what is the design pattern you have implemented in your project. Okay, before going into the session itself, I told you we don't have much complicated scenarios or much, even I'm not going to provide any practice samples also for here. I'm going to share the slide even which is taken from the net, the complete implementation of the program. Why I'm not going to give any complicated thing is you guys are not the learning anything new here. If there is a plus b whole square formula, you are simply going to apply the numbers. Nothing is complicated there. Like that, whatever the formula I'm showing, it is simply a class is getting created. You are doing inherit part or extends or implements interface part, and finally how you are going to create an object. Everything you already learned. Just you are going to know about the different formula. So nothing new is going to be here. If there is a pattern, that is what you are going to learn, or you are trying to know or remember. Okay, there is one pattern available like this. If you are having more confident on more patterns, then you will be in the initial project lead meeting, right? Like what is your requirement, SRS preparation, what is the design pattern you are going to suggest, which one we can prefer. In that kind of discussion, so you can share your points. We can go ahead with some this design patterns and all. One of the scenario, one of the example, if you want me to tell, like um, there is a class, okay, you know how to restrict an object creation. We already discussed making your constructor as private. But how you are going to have a scenario like you can give permission to create only one object creation, not more than one object. You cannot create a class, create an object for a class. In this scenario, you are not completely restricting. You are allowing the user to create only one object. That means definitely if you are completely making your private as constructors private, even that one object creation also not possible. Then how you are going to provide this kind of scenario? This is one of the very simple scenario and very simple design pattern. You might have already heard about this singleton design pattern, which comes one of the category. So all these kind of stuffs we are going to talk today. Let me know if you're having any questions on that. Okay. So well-proved solution represents an idea, etc., etc. We must use the design pattern. Yeah, that bold letter is very important. You can have a look. That fifth point, when you are going to take a decision which design pattern is going to use is during the analysis and requirement phase of SDLC, which means the initial stage itself, before documented itself. You should document this is the design pattern I'm going to use. After that only you guys are going to start your coding point. When you are in the middle of the coding, middle of the development, you cannot decide to use or implement a new design pattern at that level. It should be predefined. Okay. Advantages, okay, reusable in multiple projects. Yes, it's a one-time predefined thing. Whoever, whatever for your solution, if this pattern is suitable, take it. If it is not suitable, leave it. That's it. It's up to you. They provide the solutions that help to define the system architecture, which means they initially the IT architecture's role. They will build how the design is going to come. At the time, they will take a decision. Provide transparency. They are well proved and testified solutions. Yes, all our formulas are proved solution. I mean, it works very well. Means there will be no error will come. You can apply any number inside a plus b whole square formula. It will work. It's a proved solution. But the last point you can have a look, it is not a guarantee that resolves your problem, which means what? It is a implementation item. You can implement in this to achieve something, but it is not like a solution. If you get any error in future, if you are using this design pattern, can resolve it. No, that assurance it will not give. I mean, for using all the numbers, a plus b whole square will give you the correct answer, but If you ask me, we should only use the a plus b whole square for this calculation. That we cannot guarantee. Either you can go for a different formula also, right? Yeah. Any question, Rohan? Okay. Okay. So that is a important understanding we should have with respect to the design pattern, because this is also developed by the software guys only. That's what I think. The fourth point, they are well. I mean, the fifth point, they are well proved and testified solutions since they have been built upon the knowledge and experience of expert software developers. Even you can design your own design pattern if you are a very much expert in Java. Create something new which is not at all existing, then you can have some name for that. You can get the patent rights for that. That's it. Okay. Okay. These are the three categories we'll be having under design pattern: creational, structural, and behavior. Under each category, we'll be having a lot of design patterns. This is what I recommended. Under each category, you should have an knowledge or yeah, guts to talk about the implementation of at least one or two design patterns, which you can showcase yourself that I have already worked on it. Creating this is very simple. I'm going to show you the slides which is going to have the class how the implementation of design pattern is, but you should modify based on your project module. That's simple. You should not talk in the interview how you will be creating a factory design pattern. Means you should not talk like I'm having a interface, I'm having an abstract class, I'm having three concrete class. No, you should not talk like that. Use your real-time words. If you are working in a um, retail shop module, you are in a payment module, then you should tell I implemented a factory design pattern for payment. See, so payment is a common thing. So types of payment, credit card or online or net banking, all those are concrete classes. Like that, you should integrate your project knowledge into the design pattern and talk in that way. Then only they will believe that this guy has worked on the module implemented the design pattern. Okay. The name itself telling creational means we used to create an object. Structural means it represents the class structure. And behavioral means when you attach a class interface, everything, so many classes, so many interfaces together, how it is going to behave. So the name itself it is telling. So under creational, we are going to talk about the object creation. You know how to create an object, but in what all are the ways you can create an object? Okay, so maybe Rohan is a friend of mine. Okay, I'm integrated to Rohan. So if I'm asking, I need an object to get created from Rohan, fine. But without my knowledge, Rohan is using Aravind to create his own object. Aravind is might may be a friend of Rohan, but I don't know who is Aravind and all. For some business or from implementation is Rohan is getting help or he is having Aravind as backup to get create an object for him. In that way, how you are taking a decision in creation of objects, all those kind of design patterns coming under creational. And structural, how classes and objects can be composed, how both items is going to act in a way. And behavioral, interaction and responsibility objects, interaction between all should be in such a way that they can easily to talk each other. Generally behavioral, yeah, that is a very important word, loosely coupled. You are going to have a lot of stuffs integrated together. When you are removing something, you should not bother about it. You can easily attach with some other thing. In that way, your design should be. I'm a friend of Rohan. Maybe he can take all the um, work from me or help from me. But tomorrow, if I'm leaving Rohan, Rohan should not worry about it. He should perform his task and work by getting help from immediately after leaving me. He can attach to Aravind. That is called loosely coupled, and that is what important in the behavioral design pattern. Okay, let's have a discussion on one or two items under each category and have a look. This is the list. Maybe I have collected a long back, might be it grown now, or might be a couple of new design patterns got added. But these are the main items you can see. Under creational, that is Singleton, factory, abstract factory, builder, prototype, lot of things is there. Under structural, under behavioral, so many list is there. As I told you, you no need to have a You don't need to remember to talk about all the 23 items, then definitely you will be forget or confused with respect to all the 23 items. Yeah. So under each item, we are going to talk about couple of things. Maybe under creational, we are going to talk singleton and factory design pattern. Under structural, we are going to talk adapter and bridge, I believe, and the 11th item. And under behavioral, we are going to talk about the observer design pattern. This is up to you. For just for an example, or I am trying to help you how how in which way you need to learn the design pattern stuffs. Maybe let us take under behavioral, we have discussed only observer, but you are attending some 2 or 3 or 4 interviews. In the interviews, you are getting questions with respect to state uh, design pattern or visitor design pattern under behavioral 19 or 20 or whatever it is which we have never discussed. If you are getting repeated questions on that, then you need to read about it. You need to prepare to talk about it. Okay. With respect to design pattern, two things is there. Either they may ask a question like, "Have you worked on visitor design pattern?" You can tell, "No, I never involved in visitor design pattern, but I have involved in observer design pattern under behavioral." Means they may ask how you have achieved the observer design pattern. So you should able to explain because it is not a minus point for you. They will not like he doesn't know visitor design pattern, so we can't consider him. No, as I told you, this is a formula. I know only a plus b whole square. I have used a plus b whole square formula, but if you're asking me area of a triangle, I never used it. That's fine. It's not like I cannot know, I cannot learn, or I cannot work off area of circle. Since I'm able to a plus b whole square is fine for me, I can learn and adapt easily with any formula. It's a formula, that's it. So if you are expressing yourself a good knowledge or observer, they will believe you. He can once he involved, how long it will take? It's just a day, a matter of day. You just know what is the formula. After that, you are going to apply your class objects and methods. Nothing complicated here. So maybe in a 1 or 2 interview, you can tell boldly that I know only observer. I have worked on observer like that. But if sometime if you are feeling that I'm getting a repeated question of visitor design pattern, then definitely maybe you can read about it and be prepared about it. Then it is an added point for you. You know observer and visitor design pattern under behavior like that. Okay. Even before in the session, I just used to talk about singleton factory and bridge only. Then later on, you guys only, your trainees only come with a point. They are asking repeated questions on observer. In so many interviews, they are expecting something to talk about observer design pattern. Then I have added those items also in the session. So like that, if a repeated thing you are getting, maybe when you are traveling with me, you are getting the question, you can ask me. I can prepare and I can explain you whatever the design patterns we are missing. That's fine. After once you left me, also if you are getting it, then you need to prepare on your own how to talk about it. Okay. Um, First, under creational, remember one thing, we cannot simply tell I know singleton design pattern under creational because the singleton design pattern is the very least and easier design pattern which is anyone can use it. It is not a complicated one. Just using a 3 or 4 steps in a single class, you can complete your singleton design pattern. So definitely under creational, if they ask what is the design, what are the design patterns you know under creational, you can tell singleton, but that is not enough. You should tell factory also. Either you can tell factory design pattern and leave singleton. If they ask, did you know? Yes, you can tell I know it, but don't leave factory and don't simply tell singleton. Okay, that is not going to be fine. So here you go, the very first item, singleton design pattern under your creational. Okay. Now, what is the need of singleton design pattern is, as I told you, I'm going to arresting creating more number of objects for a class. It is not like I won't give a object for my class. I will give, but I will give only one object creation only. More than that, I won't give. Okay. Now, Rohan has created an object for my class. Now Aravind is requesting me, I want to create an object. I cannot tell like no, I won't give it to you. Already Rohan has created. No, that is not the implementation in singleton. The implementation of singleton is Anyone can, all the members can use my object, but I will allow to only create one object for my class. How it is going to be? If Rohan has created the object first, next Aravind is requesting to create an object, I will give a copy of Rohan's object. If Aravind has created first, then I am going to give the copy of Aravind's object to Rohan. Even after Rohan, n number of members can ask. For all the members, I'm going to give the first member created copy only. Either one member or two member or three member. Even for the first member also, I am not allowing you to create an object directly like a new keyword and all for my class. I will be telling my method name only. Let us assume that Rohan is first going to create an object for my class, but still Rohan doesn't know that he is a first person going to create an object for my class because he cannot create example e equals new example of not at all possible. Example is my class. If you want to create an object for my class, I am having one method. Just call that method, it will give you an object. I am telling the answer for Aravind also. Call that method, it will give you an object. Both of you doesn't know who is the first person, but both of you will have the object copy of same object. Even the two members, 50 members, 100 members, all of them is going to copy of only one object only. Now, using which formula you are going to derive this? The very first thing I told you cannot create a direct object. Example E equals new example of not possible. That means we already discussed your constructor should be private. It's completed. At the left hand side, the first arrow, your constructor is private. You cannot create a direct object for this singleton example class. Now, what are the rest of the steps? I need to provide a copy of the object to you. So I'm creating my object reference variable at the top, private static. Okay, again, it's a kind of bean only. By this time, you are having very good understanding on bean. My variable is private. At the right hand side, first arrow, singleton instance variable is private. But using that variable, the method which is going to handle that is public. Left hand side, second arrow, public static singleton example. I mean the return type is your class name only. The method name is get singleton instance. Inside the method, I am checking whether the object is null or it is having value. If it is null, it is creating an object. If it is not null, it is going to return the copy of the same object. That's it. So when, for example, Rohan is asking get singleton instance first time, for the first time only that if loop is going to execute. Second time when Aravind is calling that get singleton instance, the control will come to the get singleton instance method. If loop will not at all execute because the condition is failed, but still it is going to return the singleton instance. That means the copy of the object already created. Any questions on this? Please ask me. Rohan, Aravind. Is it clear, Rohan? So as I told you, are we learning anything complicated or new here? Nothing. Variable creation, constructor handling, method creation. That's it. We are just following the template or a pattern, right? So you can get either way of question, how you will create a singleton class, or to achieve singleton class, what are the steps we need to implement. So you should able to tell, making a object variable as private, constructor as private, creating a get object copy method as public. Talk on your own. You should not return the method name and all. Get singleton instance name and all. Don't try yourself complicated to remember. Use your own words. I'll be having one method get object copy or get object method. Using that method, I will be providing for the first time. I will allow you to create an using a if loop. I will create an object. For the second time onwards, the if loop is going to fail. I am just returning the instance or the copy of the object. That's it. Okay. I think apart from this, we need to override the, there is one inbuilt method inside your object class, copy of or clone of method. We need to override that method also. I think that step is missing here. I don't know whether it is mandatory or it is an optional one. But if you want to have a very proper explanation, you want to build on your own, just read about it, the singleton design class, and I think that method also one step is there, um, which overriding the clone of method, I believe. Okay. So all these steps you need to able to talk in the interview for creating a singleton class. And definitely if you are very much, if you are showcasing experienced guys, then definitely they will ask where exactly you have used in your project. So you should able to think and apply your own logic. Maybe a database connection object. For the very first time, we should get an object to call the database connection class. From next time onwards, whoever is asking, I need to just give a copy of the database object like that. Okay. And this is a very basic and the least item which we can easily adapt with it and explain in the interview. And next important item, what you should to learn is a little lengthy thing. That's it. Nothing complicated. You should remember the formula. In mathematics, we are having a bigger formula and all, right? Like I remember somewhere in the 12th standard, there is some area of triangle or something. I don't know. We'll be having root of x1, y1 minus y2, right? y3 minus y2, right? A lengthy formula. So like that, this kind of design patterns is going to be little lengthy, but you should just remember how to implement it. Okay, the factory design pattern, a very good example. I mean, first have a look on the definition. Define an interface or abstract class for creating an object, but let the subclasses decide which class to instantiate. Your main class means the front end class which is talking to the customer is not going to create object directly. You are going to call, you are going to interact with the subclass. They can take a decision to create an object for whatever the request you are making. A very good example is the phone factory. A mobile shop can sell all types of mobiles, an iPhone, a Samsung, or whatever, Nokia, etc. etc. Are they really manufacturing? No. And also, whatever the phones they are having, are they manufactured in a single industry? No. iPhone is manufactured from iPhone, iOS, and Samsung is manufactured by Samsung company. Each and every one are different company. When I am ordering a phone, they are going to deliver the phone got from the Samsung company or iPhone company, whatever the request I made. They are not creating a phone, they are not creating an object. The subclasses, whoever they are extends. So all the iPhone or Samsung, if I'm ordering one Samsung phone, of course they are going to get from the Samsung industry and give it to me. Like that, when the let the subclass decide which object it should get created for the end item, right? That is the thing about the factory design pattern. And again, it is loosely coupled. I'm having a mobile shop, I'm selling iPhone, Samsung, Nokia. Later sometime I got some misunderstanding with my Nokia manufacturer. Fine, I'm not going to sell Nokia phones anymore. My shop will be having only iPhone and Samsung. Since Nokia, I got some misunderstanding with Nokia, they are not going to provide the products to me. I am not going to close the store. I'm not going to shut down my business. I'm having still, or else I can try from other city Nokia vendor if I'm having a misunderstanding with the same city. It's a loosely coupling, right? And you can take a screenshot of this slide and we can read it and make your statement on your own to whatever you want to tell over the interview, right? Next slide, we are going to see how exactly implementing the formula implementing. Any questions on here, Rohan, Arvind? Okay, now have a look here. This is how your formula should get implemented for your factory design pattern. Very first step, I'm having a shape interface and a draw abstract method. That's abstract method, right? No questions about it. The method without body ends in a single line. And the right hand side, I'm having concrete classes. Concrete classes means each and independent manufacturing item. If you want to draw a rectangle, you should get create an object for rectangle class. Like that, I'm having rectangle class, square class, circle class, and each class is implementing the common shape interface and overriding the draw method. Only the draw method in each and every class is going to be different. Draw method inside rectangle is going to draw the rectangle. Draw method inside the square is going to draw the square. Very simple, nothing complicated. Based on that interface, I am creating a concrete classes. Step 1 and step 2. That's it. Now, moving to the step 3. Shape factory. This is a factory class which is going to take a decision for which class you want to create an object. So before coming to step 3, first have a look on step 4. Step 4, factory pattern demo is the main class, which means customer dealing class, front end class. So just apply your logic from the front end. Have a look inside a main method. I am creating an object for shape factory class, which is the decision maker class. After that, I want to draw three types. I want to draw rectangle, square, and circle. Let's complete the circle first. Have a look, the second line. I am creating an object for shape 1. Shape 1 is what? Sorry, shape is what? Your interface, right? Reference variable for an interface. Shape 1 equals at the right hand side shape factory dot get shape of circle. Now, where your control will come now, Rohan? Can you see that? Shape 1 equals shape factory dot get shape of circle. Now, where your control will go? Step. No. Just tell me the step. Whether you mean to tell it is going to step 2 circle? No. Just listen the again have a look on the coding. How you can tell where I'm calling using shape factory. I'm calling get shape of method. Where is your get shape of method here? Shape factory. Yeah. In get shape of I am just pausing which mobile I want, either Nokia or Samsung or iPhone. Like that, you are passing circle or rectangle square. So the shape factory class will take a decision using a get shape of method. So since I am passing the circle, the second if statement will get executed. If shape type dot equals ignores case circle, return after returning what it is calling new circle. Now tell me where your control will go. Return new circle. Where you will take off. It will go to the default circle class. That that means your object got created for circle. So at the right hand side under factory pattern demo, shape 1. Now shape 1 is holding the copy of the object of circle class. Clear on that? So next I'm calling shape 1 dot draw of. That means your circle object is calling the draw of method. So definitely the draw of method inside the circle class will get executed. That's it. Very simple. This is the formula of your factory design pattern. Having an interface, individual concrete classes is going to implement your interface and override the method. Have a decision making class which is going to be your shape factory. That's it. At the front end, you are going to interact with all the items. Clear? This is called a factory design pattern. You can apply your like one of the example is like payment, right? Shape factory is going to take a decision what kind of payment you want to pay, net banking or online or credit card like that. Then you should have a concrete classes for all the thing. And finally, maybe your interface name is going to be pay or mode, pay or mode like that. We should recreate it. Few batches back, I just forgot the girl name. She recreated this factory design pattern using a proper module name. I think the payment is the module name, and she sent the code also. I might be having a backup. If you need, I can send it later, or else you can apply your own logic how to go. Because why I'm asking you to recreate with proper module name is that is what you are going to talk in interview with respect to your current project. Yeah, maybe I can share the code. Yeah. And we are moving on to the structural design pattern, which is the second one. So under creational, we have seen the singleton design pattern and the factory design pattern. Now we are moving on to the structural design pattern. Structural design pattern is a kind of under structural we are going to see adapter pattern and bridge pattern. In adapter pattern, I don't have any specific code to demonstrate any sample like how I have shown for factory. I am not having any specific code sample to demonstrate. In the interview, you can easily tell maybe I never implemented the adapter pattern manually, but I know in all the class in Java is working based on the adapter pattern only. Which class is that? This is a very good example. I can show in the next slide. Okay. The name itself telling adapter. What do you mean by adapter? It's a converter without disturbing the original class actually, right? I may be having a okay. You are having a television. You are having a speaker. You are having a fan, and maybe you are having a refrigerator. All these items need electricity. Even you can put charge for your mobile. Now I'm having only one plug point. So what is the thing you are going to do? You are going to connect the junction box, which is going to act as an adapter. Even though the devices is going to be different, which is going to give same current for each and every different classes without disturbing the original one. This is called an adapter. Easily you can remove and plug it for your own source. You are connecting a mobile, it is charging. If you want to connect your television, is it going to disturb or you want to remodify anything with the television or you want to remodify anything with the current end? Nothing. Just remove your plug point of mobile, connect your TV plug. That's it. This is an adapter design pattern, and in Java, you are already having a very good example, which is nothing but your JDBC class. Since we didn't had a discussion on JDBC, maybe I think next session is our JDBC class. In JDBC, what you will do? Java is providing you a common class to load the JDBC driver. Fine. So what you are going to do? Is it the Java code is going to be different for your Oracle? It is going to be different for SQL or MySQL or Microsoft SQL? Nothing. The Java code is same. Only you need to disconnect and connect the whatever database you want. It will work for all the way. So that JDBC class is a very good example. JDBC driver is a very good example for your adapter design pattern. Okay. So maybe a proper definition may be the first point. Converts the interface of a class into another interface that a client wants. That's it. Okay. So this is what JDBC API is your class, is your package of Java. But if you want to use Oracle or if you want to use SQL, you are not going to modify anything with respect to the JDBC API. Just you need to tell the input, connect the input as Oracle driver or JDBC driver. It will work common for all the different drivers. Okay. So adapter design pattern, immediately you can remember your JDBC sample. Or even you can tell, yeah, the JDBC you are working is actually you are using the design pattern, JDBC design pattern, adapter design pattern. Okay. And the next one, as I told you, we need to learn a proper one in each item, and this is the one, bridge pattern, which is the same concept as I told you the example. So to achieve this, I told you there is one main plug point. You are having an adapter or junction box in the middle, and you can connect all the electronic devices in it without changing the original class or original main point. How you are going to achieve this, how you are going to implement the formula, that is what you are going to see. Very simple. Why I have taken a bridge pattern is to avoid complicated things or avoid confusion. I think factory design pattern is the subset of bridge pattern, which means bridge pattern formula or implementation takes almost everything whatever you have already done in your factory design pattern. I think the only extra item you are going to do is having an abstract class, I believe, which is nothing but your junction box. That abstract will take a decision where exactly your router will go. Okay, have a look again. Same thing, step 1 and 2, nothing different in your factory design pattern. You are having an interface, draw API. Okay, this is an example for to draw which color of a circle. You want to draw a red circle or green circle or whatever. Okay, so first you are having an interface and you are having concrete classes. which is going to implement the interface and override the interface method, abstract method. Nothing is changed when compared to your factory design pattern. In factory design pattern, after having step 1 and step 2, you will directly move on to the step 4. But have a look. Before between step 2 and step 4, there is a mediator which is going to be your abstract class. This is the junction box. This will take a decision where exactly you need to override the method and all. Other than that, everything is same. Okay. Now, no confusion in step 1 and step 2. Whatever we have done already, you have done it. Okay. In abstract class, what you are doing, we know that abstract class is going to have a predefined template kind of item. It is also having an abstract method draw, abstract void draw, and you are having draw API. Draw API is your interface guy. Step 1 interface, you are creating a reference variable here, and for that you are having one a shape constructor, right? Protected shape of draw API. You are passing the interface reference variable. In step 3, have a look on the both yellow color boxes. You know why we need a second yellow color box. That is a kind of bean. You can get via constructor overloading, or you can get via getter or setter methods. Here you are doing using a constructor overloading of your abstract class. Protected shape draw API. For that constructor, you are passing the interface reference variable. Now, step 4 is actually whatever the color you are passing, it is going to draw that color circle. Okay. Now, step 5 is the front end client facing class. Now, let's apply the formula. Let's come from the front end. Have a look on the step 5. I'm creating an object shape red circle. Okay. Equals new circle of you are passing 4 parameters. Can you tell me from step 5 at the right hand side for the first line where you will be traveling to? Go ahead. Step 4, right? Step 4. So the all the parameters will come to step 4. For draw API reference variable, you are giving an object copy of red circle class. Okay, fine. After that, after entering into step 4, what it will happen? What is the first line? Super of draw API. So where you will go now? Abstract class constructor. Step 3, right? Super keyword, your in step 4 your circle class extends shape. That means shape abstract class is your super class. So super draw API will take you to step 3, the second color yellow color box. Now for that variable it will assign the draw API reference variable. That's it. Okay, so again in step 5, skip the green circle second line, come to the third line, red circle dot draw off. So now red circle is having a copy of draw API of red circle, so it will draw the draw off method of your red circle, right? So red circle dot draw off in your step 5, again you will come to step 4, draw off method. There is a method again, draw off. So using the draw API, you are calling the draw circle method. Draw circle method is available in both step 2. Red circle class also having draw circle, green circle class also having draw circle. So whatever the object holds draw API reference variable, that object class will execute the draw circle method. That's it, right? So might be confused, but I believe not. It is complicated. Okay, that confusion also when you recreate this and practice, it should go. Instead of having this APA or red circle, green circle, the generic items, you should implement your own logic and recreate it. That will be easy for you to remember. Okay, have a look again. Let me know if you're having any questions. Okay. And finally, the behavioral design pattern. Under behavioral, we are seeing observer design pattern. It's very simple. Observer design pattern is very interesting to learn. This is nothing but your retail shop. If you are searching some products in the Amazon, yeah. So in Amazon you are searching for a product. The product is unavailable. So you want to buy that product. So what is the next step you will do? You can wait till the product is available. So what is the next step you will do? You will click maybe notify me, right? Even in Amazon or retail shop, all the items, whenever the product is unavailable, they can give you an option notify me. You can provide your email ID and click notify me, right? So today Rohan is clicking notify me. Tomorrow I'm clicking notify me for the same product. After 10 days, the product is available. Whoever has clicked the notify me going to receive the notification, email or SMS to their mobile. This is observer design pattern. In both the way it will work. This is subject object relationship. Whatever you are going to create, that is called observer. So how it is going to you are going to achieve this in a formula. That is what you are going to learn. Very simple. How you are going to add or remove the users or observers to your group. We already learned collections. So collection going to play a main role to create a group and everything. It is the same as maybe your WhatsApp group or whatever it is. You can add members, you can remove members. If you are adding 5 members, when you are sending a message, all the 5 members is going to receive it. In that way, your observer design pattern will work. Okay, and this is how the formula implemented with respect to observer pattern. Have a look on the step one. I am creating a group. I am creating an observers group for array list. Okay, I am having an integer variable state. The expectation of this example is the implementation of this example is I will be having one integer value, maybe 1 or 5, anything it may be. I need to print this value in three different types. In binary you are going to print 5, in octal you are going to print 5, in hexa you are going to print that 5. Now what is the rule here? If any change happen to this variable, you are changing 5 into 10, then of course all these three members should know the value is changed, so that it can change it will get update and print for the 10 value instead of 5 value. That is what implemented here. Okay, now come back and see the implementation. So creating a group under list, array list, having an state variable. Again it is beans, private in state and getter and setter method is public. Get is fine, you can get the value, but how you can change the value using setter method? When you are changing the value, you should notify, you should inform all others. That's why have a look on step 1 set state method. After this dot state equal state, you are calling one more method notify all observers, and your control will come to the second yellow color box in step 1 on 1 itself. Public void notify all observers. Then using a for loop, you are calling the update method. Your update method is in step 3. So let's see where your update of method is there and updating and all. So apart from the notify all observers, you are having one attach method also. So what you are doing in attach method, in the observers group you are going to add whoever wish to add in the group. So where you are going to use this call this attach method, and where you implement the update method, let's see. Now you are having a step 2 class, same as your like a bridge pattern. You are having an abstract class. Inside the abstract class you are having a reference variable for the step 1 subject class, and you are having abstract method observer. Now three concrete classes: binary observer, binary observer, octal observer and hexa observer. Three concrete classes which you have already seen, and each class is having its own constructor. And have a look, maybe Rohan and Aravind, um, there is a constructor In the constructor, you are passing the subject object. After this dot subject, you are calling this dot subject of attach of method, which means what? You are implementing the attach method inside a constructor. That means definitely whenever an object is created, it is going to automatically attach to the observer group. Any questions on this, Rohan? Right? We need constructor to create an object. Inside the constructor, you have written the logic to attach with the group. Okay, that is the code written here. And each update method is overridden to print in that format: integer.do binary, integer.to octal, integer.to hexa. Now the next slide, the front end class. So you are creating an object for the subject class first, okay? And for whatever the concrete classes you are creating an object, you need to pass that subject member, because using that subject member only you can add this hexa observer object, octal observer object, binary object to the subject attach method. Whenever you are creating an object, you should pass the subject element. It will automatically add to that particular group. Then next line, have a look. You are setting the value as 15. After that, you are setting the value as 10. So now have a look on the right hand side. Verify the output. So first state change 15. Subject dot sets state of 15. It prints three items. Have a look again. The yellow color box. The second line. Subject dot set state of 15. It is going to call all the update methods, because in set state you are calling the notify all observers of method. Inside notify all observers, you have created a for loop. How many object is available? For all the objects, you are calling the all the update method. So in step 3, all the three classes update method will execute. In each and every update method, you are printing the value in its own format: binary, octal, and integer. And again, when you are trying to change the value into 10, it is printing in that way. Again, it is going to notify all the members. When notifying, it is going to call all the update method. All the update method will print its constructor value. This is how your observer design pattern will used to work. Later some point, okay, you have added three, there is a group observers. Currently 3 members is there. So all the 3 members are attached, and it is updating. Later some point you want to remove binary observer from the group. What you will do, Rohan? What you need to do to achieve that? Any idea? It's not like simply exact formula you are going to use it. The design pattern you are going to little modify based on your own scenario, right? So I am asking, your implementation should have not only for adding the group, you should have an authority to remove the element also. How you will do it? Very simple code Java. In step 1, what you need to do? What is the attach method is going to do now in step 1? It is going to add the object into the group. Then what is the item you need to have to remove the item? You should have another method, detach, right? And in the same way, you should pass the observer. You are going to call observers dot remove of observer. That's it, right? So yeah, you recreate in that way if you want. So again, nothing is complicated. Very core Java we are playing. Just that's it. How in OOPS concept you play it like that in design pattern. It is implementation. It's not a play. It's derived that if you are using in this way, this is how it is going to work. That's it. Okay. That is how observer design pattern. And my idea is you need to um, predefine what you are going to talk, which item you are going to talk, and recreate the same in your end with the proper module names and everything, and be ready to talk over the interview. If you are if you are trying to showcase more and more, then if you are so much confident, that's fine. but there is a chance you might get confused. If you are trying to learn 6 items or 7 items you want to talk under behavioral, that's up to your guts, how confident. Otherwise, I would recommend just 2 or 3 is enough to tell under each category. Even under creational, we have seen Singleton factory, that's fine. The third one you can easily adapt with it because abstract factory is a little extended version of your factory design pattern. When you are seeing the formula over the net, how to implement abstract factory, you can see all the things you have done in factory, you are going to do it again a little different way. That different you can read, and you can tell 3 items I know in under creational. Okay, like that you should pick it up and prepare on your own.